Hey there. All right. Glad you're back. You apparently made it through the last video, and even having seen me make a huge mistake, no, you still came back for more. So let me see if I can give you a little bit more. This one is going to be about scales, okay? And it's not going to be so easy for me to do a big treatment of scales here. I have to hook up the electric guitar, get out the old log, and turn on the electricity. To kind of show you some of the stuff that I like to do with scales, which you would hear if you listen to Raven's Glen or something like that. But I'm going to talk about a simple scale here called the pentatonic scale. And the pentatonic scale, it turns out that the pentatonic scale shows up naturally in music all around the world. And it's a really amazing fact. And I think that they've tried to understand it, musicologists, why it just naturally shows up. Because it seems to be completely indigenous. It's like you just give people some things to make noise with, and when they start singing, pentatonic scales are the most frequently chosen. And I think that might be because of the space. There's only 5 tones, penta, 5 tones in the octave. I would say every guitarist, probably the first thing they learn is A minor pentatonic on the 5th position. So that's what we're going to talk about for right now, is positions of the pentatonic scale. Okay, the notes in the A minor pentatonic are A, C, D, E, G, and A. There's your octave right there. But you really only have, in each octave, you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unique pitches there. And then you get to the octave and it all starts over. But this has a really cool sound, and it shows up in different places. It shows up in a lot of Oriental music. That's why David Bowie wanted to use that. China Girl is basically using a pentatonic scale to create the sound that is natural there in Chinese music, which all comes from the pentatonic major. Usually they're using pentatonic major. But then blues, of course. Okay, that's the pentatonic scale. And so if you take A minor pentatonic, this is a great scale to start working with. If you're just learning how to do scales, pentatonic is a great place to start, because it's as I said, it's reduced notes, right? And it's almost always, it sounds great over a lot of different kinds of music. It really does. You can do a lot of stuff with it, right? So my recommendation, if you want to sort of build, because see, watch this. If I take the A minor pentatonic scale, the diatonic sort of envelope for that is typically going to be Aeolian. In fact, that particular mode right there, the Aeolian minor scale goes right over the top by just adding in 2 more notes. So I'm just adding in a B and an E. And so I don't honestly think you're going to hurt yourself by first becoming familiar with the different positions of the pentatonic scale, right? And the forms. So start with this simple one that it's like the first one we learn. Okay? And realize that the root is there. There's also a root there. And there's a root there. So if suppose that you've got some kind of a rhythm thing and the guy's jamming, maybe he's doing something like this. Okay, so you've got that scale in your pocket, and you know where the roots are, and you know the chord progression. So you can easily create a solo there. Now it's a parallel movement solo, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? So start with that and learn that. Then you want to learn the other ones. And A is really a good place to start. A is like the standard. You could start wherever you want, but if you learn all the positions of that scale, you're really teaching yourself how to move all over the whole neck of the guitar, and you'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff, right? Like, okay, I mean, you can get rocking with it, right? Where are you at? Okay, you're going to be able to do that the more and more that you get after it. And in fact, you want to know the secret to some of these guys out there, like Yngwie Malmsteen and all that, right? Not all of us can play like Yngwie. Even if you're going to invest hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, you may not be able to play like Yngwie Malmsteen can play. But you're going to get better. But the thing is one of the cores underneath that, one of the basic cores underneath that, is this understanding of being able to think across the fretboard, right? So now I'm not talking so much about songwriting in the basic sense of chord changes and chord progressions, but I'm talking about your toolbox, right? I mean, it's nice to be able to come out and throw down a riff, right? Well, those riffs are coming from understanding what the associated scales would be with that chord. And basically that's where it comes from, and the pentatonic would be your start. Again, if you sit down and just throw down a metronome and play. I actually like, my daughter has a little keyboard. I like to turn the drums on there to different drum styles and different tempos, and just sit there and jam, and oftentimes literally work through simple things, trying to make them sound rhythmic, you know. And sure, I am not claiming in any way that I'm as sweet as even the moderately average blues player out there. But this is the concept. This is the doorway, okay? And I don't know what your potential is. I don't know you. But I know that we never find our potential unless we practice. So even just rote practice on the metronome.